Why is it that the first email that you send typically has an open rate of around 60% or more, but then over time it's going to go down to like 30, 20, some lists even 10%? Like, what the heck happened to those really good open rates at the start, right? I'm going to show you a special email that's going to be 99% better than what most people send. This is the secret sauce to maintaining amazing open rates. And you should care about open rates because more eyeballs on your offer equals more profits. And if you set this up today, your business, I guarantee in the future, it's going to come up to you. It's going to be like, thank you so much for setting this up. Okay, but seriously, I've really seen open rates decline the last 12 months. And this is a really simple setup. You can get done in like an hour or so. And once you set it up, it's just going to keep compounding and keep getting you high open rates over time. This is just one of those first things I set up with every single new client. So if you're sending out consistent emails, you'd be silly not to include this. And hey, you definitely want to stay to the end of this video because including this email into your sequence is an absolute game changer. The first is that it's going to maintain really healthy open rates. Second is that you're training people to reply to your emails, which is great the next time you want to make an ask, but it's also great because Gmail favors people who reply to people, right? You actually look like a legitimate business. On top of that, it's super ninja because you can basically get people to tell you what to write about, so you don't have to think about what am I writing about today. The reason why I absolutely love this strategy is because email, the rules, they're kind of fixed and they don't really change. Like, I remember when I first started out, I was doing group fitness for old people. I remember when I first snuck in to a expensive retirement home, trying to get some market research. Obviously, I got kicked out immediately. What else did I do? I did crypto, I did ebooks, I did Facebook ads for local businesses. And then that sort of led me down like doing chatbots and like literally building my business on other people's land. And like in the case of social media, things change all the damn time. And I remember there was this like one pivotal moment where there was like leads just coming in. I was creating this chatbot sequence for this restaurant. And then the next week, all the rules changed. I'm like, I'm absolutely sick of this. So that's when I switched over to email. And I've only been doing email the last 2 to 3 years and the rules are still the same. They haven't changed. They still haven't changed the last like 20-ish years, which is kind of cool. But here's a really like important part you probably want to know. Once you start learning ninja stuff, specifically with email, it doesn't really go away. Like, you learn ninja stuff with Facebook or with YouTube, algorithms change and everything else. But for the most part, with email, this is a cool part. Like, you implement one ninja thing into your sequence and everything else. And for the most part, it's going to stick around and compound for you over and over and over. And one of those things that I really loved was this simple reply email. This is one of those little ninja things that I learned. And it's fantastic because when you think about it, someone has just received your email, like it's a freebie, it's a PDF, it's a video, whatever. If we can immediately get them when, like I said, email open rates are about 60%, on average, on your very first email, how can we capture that attention at the very beginning? Well, instead of waiting another 24 hours, why don't we wait another 10 minutes? I'll show you what this strategy looks like inside your autoresponder, how you build this, but the point is you're really grabbing people's attention right when in the search mode. They kind of already like trusted you to give the email address. Why not capture this attention instead of like, waiting another day? Now, on top of those benefits I told you at the start, like it's good for open rates, it tells Google that you're a legitimate business, it's a ninja way of, this is the key part, figuring out what to write about in your content. Because if you're just kind of guessing in your head, that's not what makes people buy. What makes people buy is the daily frustrations, right? Like what's going on in their day that's pissing them off because it's a symptom of a bigger problem that your product or service solves, right? And if we can position this email to be like, hey, like, I'm really interested in knowing like what challenges or what roadblocks or obstacles you're going through right now. Can you help me understand what's going on in your day? Now, I'm going to give you the full template in just a second, but I'm just paraphrasing here because when you can understand what's going on in the day, hey, that's going to give you some really good fodder, some really good content moving forward because you're not guessing, you're actually picking up data from your ideal customer and ideal listener, ideal avatar, wherever you want to put it. The first time I actually included this into a client sequence, it was really interesting. The answers were like, hey, clients are undermining me. They're trying to drive me down on price. People are ghosting me in the DMs. I can't charge more than like 6K because people just get sticker shock as soon as I present price on a sales call. So as you can imagine, as a marketer, I'm like, hey, these are really good stories. And if you're a smart marketer, you can tell the same story many different ways. The point is that we're finding all these symptoms of the main problem that you solve. Once you know these symptoms, then you've got like endless content. The question is, how do you actually figure this out? Well, it's really simple. Let me take you inside my computer. I'm going to show you how I set this up for a client, myself. I'm going to show you the exact template you can use as well. And you can start taking in all these intel and create an endless content stream for your ideal listeners that makes sense for them to want to take the next step with you. Howdy, so welcome to my computer. We're going to be inside my favorite autoresponder sequence, software, what do you want to call it, active campaign. You can use whatever you want. I've just found this to be very much intuitive to use. So we're going to go to create an automation. I'm just going to pretend like we're doing this from absolute scratch, just so you have an idea of what we're going to do. So ideally, what we're going to do is, first email is that you're going to give someone your lead magnet, right? So when someone subscribes to a list, yes, we'll just do any list for now, because I'm actually not going to turn this on. And this is going to be the freebie email. Cool. Here's your freebie. Yep. And then I'm just going to save and exit. Okay. So the whole part of this next strategy is we're going to be setting up I'm going to click save here, and we're going to be setting up the reply-based email. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I'm going to click conditions. I'm going to go wait. And we're going to wait for a specific amount of time. We're not going to wait for 10 days. That would be way too long. We'll wait for 10 minutes. And then I want to send an email. And this is where the magic starts to happen. So I'm going to do reply email. And remember, the reply email is super duper powerful when it comes to figuring out the intel, training Google that your legit email address, and also trains your email subscribers to raise their hand, which is really important for what I'm about to show you in this in the rest of this video. Okay, I think I'm just going to go past campaigns for easier formatting. I'll be like, quick question. That's how I like to do it. Quick question. Okay, then in here I'm going to insert, hey, I want to help you achieve result. It could be, I want to help you achieve. It's not about think about the tangible incomes. I want to help you hit 10K months with your email list. I want to help you get your ex back. I want to help you, whatever the result, save 15 hours a week without thing they hate, that sort of thing, right? I've just put this template in to give you a general gist, but it's really conversational. I want to help you get this result, but I want to put you to sleep with the info. Would you be against sharing your number one headache or anything you've got to deal with day to day and you include who this person is, as a YouTuber, as a artist, as a digital marketer, whoever it is. The more specific you are, probably the better it is. Could be one word, could be a paragraph, up to you. We're just telling them what to do. Anything you like, and I'll send you incentives. So I've included checklists. I've included a LinkedIn template that had about a 65% acceptance rate, and that was a really good incentive here. So once you do that, we're going to click save and exit. And from here, you have now created your first reply-based email. Aim of the game now, build your list, keep watching my videos. And once you get around 100 people coming through, expect to get around 3 to 5 responses, people replying. The reason why I personally love this reply-based email is 1, it's conversational, feels like with a friend. 2, it uses a very ninja persuasion method called the no-based question. Most people are conditioned to say no. Have you ever walked into a store and they say, hey, would you like some help? And your instant answer is to say no. This no-based question takes advantage of that psychology. And the last great reason is that it just tells people exactly what to do in a very casual but direct way of getting what you want. Let me set some expectations here. If you have 100 people come through, I would expect between 3 and 5 people would actually reply to you. But this is the biggest reason why you want to implement this right away. Why do you want to do this? Well, now for me to give you a bit of a love tap to nudge you to go actually do this, why are we implementing this reply-based strategy? Well, have you ever noticed when at Facebook events first came out, like music gigs or just stuff around the city, and you get a notification from Facebook saying, do you want to attend this thing? And I remember I would go to it. Some of my friends were there, some of them were not, or I would be the first one, and I would raise my hand, and then that would notify my friends that I'm interested. It's kind of the same thing here as well. When you're training people to reply back to your emails, hey, you can make some really cool offer funnels by just getting people to raise their hand first. You're not actually asking them to hand over money. You're just saying, the Facebook event, I'm interested. And this softer method of selling is really, really good for email because email is like a messaging tool, right? It's a bridge to the next thing. It pre-frames before you go do the actual thing. Like, have you ever been sold on like a massive sales inside of email? No, like the really good ones tease you, give you a bit of a hint, give you a benefit, and then the real like sales mechanism is on the other thing. It's on the sales page, on the webinar, maybe it's on chat, or whatever it is. The point is, just like the Facebook event, when you raise your hand and you train people to reply, this is how you have the start of a really profitable list. And I love training the list to train the hand to reply, because once you start to know the symptoms, like at the start, at step 1, then you can start to be like, hey, I made this lead magnet that talks about whatever it is. And then you sort of gauge with your audience who's replying. And in one case for a client, I remember we had a few 22, 33, 35 replies. One day we got a 64 reply rate, as in like 64 people actually responded. And that's when I knew like, hey, we hit a chord, like we struck a nerve with this lead magnet. Let's investigate further and, you know, make an offer, follow up with these people. There's a whole bunch of really cool stuff you can do with this. So I'm telling you right now, you install this 10 minutes after your first email comes in, your future business is gonna come in, it's gonna give you a really big hug and tell you, thank you so much. But hey, this second email is really incomplete unless you knew exactly how to go from opt-in all the way to a booked call. And the way to do this is to check out this next video over here. It's the A to Z of how to build and monetize an email list.